When you are emotionally exhausted as a mom, do you think you have a gratitude problem? It's possible you have an empty cup problem, and that is our conversation today. We're going to learn as moms how we can stay grateful even when we are emotionally drained. Yes, I get you. I understand as a mom. Sometimes you have so much responsibilities. You have endless to-do lists. You have a lot of things you want to do. A lot of people calling for your attention. Your children are calling for your attention. You need to pay attention to your husband. You have responsibilities to do. And sometimes you get to this point where you feel drained. You get to this point where you just feel tired. You get to this point where you just feel, oh my God, I can't even look at what to be grateful for. You're teaching me about gratitude, but I feel emotionally drained. But the truth is that at that point in time, you don't have a gratitude problem. The challenge might just be you need to fill up your cup. It might just be that your cup is empty as a mom and you need to fill it up. So we're going to learn how can we stay grateful as moms when we feel emotionally drained. Because the truth is that you can't take away the fact that sometimes you feel emotionally drained. Sometimes you feel tired. Sometimes you have a lot of things to do when you just feel, oh my God, am I really meeting my goals? But we are going to learn today what we can begin to do differently. So before we move forward to the things we are going to do to stay grateful, let us learn what the real problem is. Why do a lot of moms out there struggle to remain grateful when they feel drained? Why do we struggle to be grateful when we're emotionally drained? As moms, number one, when you are tired as a mom, your brain switches to survival mode. And when your brain switches to survival mode, it makes it difficult for you to be grateful. You start to force gratitude because you are tired, you are drained. So what can we do in this instance? When you feel tired as a mom, you can ask yourself, can I sit down for 5 minutes? Can I pause for 5 minutes? Can I catch my breath for 1 minute, for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes? So that I can just recover and get myself. Because when you're tired, your brain switches. What are the things that can prevent you from getting to that point where you're just tired? Ask yourself, what are the things I can start to do so I can help myself not to get to that point where I'm burnt out, I am completely drained. Even when you get to that point, ask yourself, what can I do? Can I just take a break? Can I just drink water? Can I sit down? Can I relax? So one of the reasons why we struggle with gratitude as moms when we're emotionally drained is because our brain switches when we're tired. Our brain switches to survival mode. And when your brain is on survival mode, it makes it difficult for you to express gratitude from your heart. Even when you do, it seems like you're even forcing the gratitude to come out. So that is something we need to work on as moms. Another reason why we find it difficult to express gratitude as moms is because emotional fatigue. When you're emotionally tired, when you're drained, it blocks your brain from being emotionally aware. When you're tired, you're just completely burnt out. It has a way of preventing you from being aware of your emotion. Even when you can try it now, when you're completely drained, when you're completely tired, sometimes even the decisions you make, later on you'll be like, oh my God, I think I would have done better. That is why most times it's not always the right thing to make decisions or choices when you're completely drained, when you're completely tired, when you're not managing your emotions well. Because emotional fatigue blocks emotional awareness. When you're tired, when you're fatigued, when you're drained emotionally, it makes you not to be aware. So it makes it difficult for you to express emotions. You can't look around you and see the things you should be grateful for because you're emotionally tired. You're emotionally drained. Your emotions are not, you're not thinking of the right emotions. Your emotions are all over the place. So what can we do? We must learn to regulate our emotions. We must learn to manage our emotions. We must learn to catch that feeling. When it comes, catch it and ask yourself, what can I do about this feeling, about this emotion? We must learn to name our feelings. We must learn not to get to that point where we are emotionally fatigued and we cannot express gratitude. That is what we must do. Another problem, another challenge, why we as moms find it difficult to be grateful when we are drained, because you cannot pour out gratitude when your heart is running on empty. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot be grateful when you're running on empty. You cannot be grateful when you're drained. When you're drained, you'll be like, what am I even grateful for? I am tired. You can't. So we must train ourselves to get to this point that we look at gratitude from everything around us. Even when you're tired, just take a moment and ask yourself, what am I even grateful for this situation? You can be grateful for something and it could change the way you address something even when you were tired. So you can't pour from an empty cup. It's going to be difficult for you to express gratitude when you're tired or when you're drained as a mom. That's why we must train ourselves to get to this point where we begin to look at everything from the point of gratitude, and we must walk to fill up our cups. We must not run on empty. We must not run on empty cup. Ask yourself, what am I running on empty? Do I need to fill up my emotions? Do I need to be more emotionally aware? Do I need to be more emotionally stable? Do I need to get to this point where I should be able to name my emotion? What do I need to do? Then we go out and improve ourselves. We go out and seek knowledge. We go out and read. We go out and grow and become and add value to ourselves, so we don't run on empty. So as a mother, you need to fill up yourself so you can be able to give out from the fullness of yourself. You can be able to express gratitude from the fullness of who you are on the inside of you. Another reason why we as moms fail to express gratitude when we're emotionally drained is because most of us as moms, we interpret being emotionally exhausted as failure. Most of us think that you feel when you're emotionally exhausted, but that is not true. When you're emotionally exhausted, that tells you that, okay, I need to learn more about my emotions. I need to work on them. What do I need to do? That is why we have to be aware of emotional intelligence. We have to school ourselves on emotional intelligence, because when you're drained, it doesn't mean you're failing. It doesn't mean you're making a great mistake. It just means that, okay, this is the way you feel now. You can learn to do something better. How do you handle these feelings? How do you handle this emotion? That is why we have to be emotionally aware. So you don't feel like you're a failure when you're exhausted. No, being exhausted, being tired, it happens. All you need to do is to ask yourself, what do I need to do? How did I get here? Can I prevent this next time? Can I be more emotionally aware next time so that I don't get to this point? What are the things I need to do? So as a mom, gratitude is going to come difficult to you when you just feel that you're being emotionally exhausted. Is you failing? No, you are not failing. Even if you make a mistake, even if you get to this point that, oh my God, you made a mistake, you've not failed. You've just learned another way not to do that thing again. You've just learned a better way not to do that thing again. So as a mom, we must learn to manage our emotions. We must be students of emotional intelligence. It's going to change a lot for us. Another reason why we as moms fail to express gratitude when we're drained is because sometimes we feel guilty. You just feel guilty. You just feel, oh, I don't have any reason to be grateful for. What am I grateful for? I'm tired, I'm drained, and you're telling me to be grateful. No. Even when you're tired, it doesn't mean you should be jumping all over the roof and everything, but the posture, the mindset should be a mindset of gratitude. The mindset should be like, oh, thank God I even recognize that I am drained. It comes from a place of self-awareness. So don't feel guilty as a mom when you're emotionally drained. It is okay to be emotionally drained. When you're drained, you find, actually, what do I need to do? Do I need to rest? Do I need to look for help? Do I need to ask for help? What do I need to do? It is okay to be drained, but it's not okay to remain there or that way. So don't feel guilty that you don't have to be grateful because you are emotionally drained. No, we can learn to be grateful in all situations. The Bible says in all situations we should give thanks to God, not in some situations, not in the situations we like. It is quite a difficult one, but that is the teaching. That is what we are encouraged to practice on a daily basis. So we've talked about the reasons, the things that prevent us as moms from being, from being grateful when we're emotionally drained. So what are the practical things we can start to do to be grateful when you are tired, when you are drained, when you just feel you are completely drained? What are the the things you can start to do. Number one, you can practice the 60 seconds pause rule. So what does this rule say? Pause for 1 minute. You can learn to pause. You can learn to just sit down. When your child does something or you're tired, just learn to pause. Don't react immediately. Like my coach will say, discipline is not an emergency. Don't react immediately. Learn to pause. Learn to sit still with yourself. You can place your hand on your chest if you want to do it and breathe deeply. You can pause. You can just breathe deeply. All right, let's do it. Let's pause and let's breathe deeply. 1, 2, 3, go. And breathe out. Let's do it again. Breathe in and out. Yes, you can do it, and it's going to change a whole lot. I felt better. I know. How do you feel? I believe you feel better when you practice it, because when we do this 1 minute pausing, it helps to reset the emotional brain. It helps to reset our brain so we can start to practice gratitude again. When you pause, you breathe in and breathe out. It helps to reset the emotional brain so that gratitude starts to flow from the emotional brain, so that you start to being grateful. So as a mom, whenever you feel drained, even if you're outside, you're in the market, you're in the shop, you're in your place of work, you're at home, just take 1 minute pause. 1 minute pause, or someone is trying to do something that is going to trigger you. Your child is doing something and you're triggered. Take 1 minute pause. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out for 1 minute. Over time, you find out that you start to feel a lot more better. Another thing we can start to do to feel grateful when we are drained as moms is that we must learn to name our season. We must learn to name our emotions as well. You can tell yourself, oh my God, I really feel tired about the situation, but I'm going to work on it. I really feel tired about this, but it's just a season of life. It's going to pass. I'm going to manage my emotions better. What this thing does for you, it helps to reduce overwhelm, and it helps you to have a different perspective. Another way you can look at it is that when you name your season, when you have toddlers, sometimes it's not going to be the same way with someone that has children that are teenagers or adults. As a toddler, a toddler parent or a toddler mom, you need to teach, you need to guide, you need to show examples. Sometimes you need to sing, sometimes you need to dance, sometimes you need to dramatize. You need to do a lot of things for your children to understand. But it might not be the same with someone that has an adult that understands immediately, that can grab immediately. So we must get to this point where we name our season. When you name your season, you avoid overwhelm. When you name your season, you stop to compare yourself with the next mom. You look at things from a different perspective. So what season are you in? Are you in a season where you're raising young children that you have to put in a lot of exercises, dancing, explanation, and all? Name your season, and it's going to help you to avoid overwhelm. Yes. Another thing we can start to do as moms to practice gratitude, even when we are drained, is to have this mindset of micro gratitude moments. So what does micro gratitude moments means? It means instead of choosing one big thing to be grateful for, instead of waiting for a day you've set aside, say, okay, this is gratitude day, you just pick, what is one thing I can be grateful for in this moment? One thing I can be grateful for in this moment. So during your day, you ask yourself, what is one thing I can be grateful for? For example, you can tell yourself, oh, I drank water. I am grateful I have water to drink. It's something. Your child gave you a hug. I am grateful my child hugged me. It is something. You were able to rest for 5 minutes as a mom. You say, God, I am grateful I was able to rest for 5 minutes. So micro gratitude moments during the day. What are you grateful for? Oh, I'm grateful I'm sitting and I'm teaching this class. I'm grateful I can smile. I am grateful. Just whatever, as you go through your day, micro gratitude moments, it's going to change a whole lot for you. So in this case, you're not waiting to be grateful for you're not waiting for a grand event to be grateful. You're not waiting for, hey, today is gratitude day. Oh yeah, let everybody come with your gratitude list. No. As you go through your day, you pick what happened and you're grateful. You dropped your children in school, they are safe. It's great. It's something to be grateful for. You went to pick your child and your child hugged you. is something to be grateful for. You saw your neighbor, you saw your friend, it's something to be grateful for. You're able to talk, you're able to express yourself, you're able to have someone to have a conversation with. It's something to be grateful for. So as you go through your day, 24 hours of your day, micro gratitude moments, little moments of gratitude, those moments you usually would neglect, begin to look at them and be grateful for them. Because as a mom, gratitude doesn't require perfection. No. What gratitude requires is presence. Gratitude requires you being present, observing those little things that we would usually neglect. But today, we are learning to be present as moms. We are learning to be present to the things we need to be grateful. When you look around you, there is enough reason to be grateful. There is so many reasons to be grateful. You can breathe, it's a reason. We are alive, it's a reason. We are healthy, it's a reason. You have clothes to wear, it's a reason. You were looking good, it's a reason. You can express yourself. There are so many reasons we can be grateful for as moms. So I want to encourage you to practice gratitude as you go through your day. You don't have to be perfect to be gratitude, because gratitude does not require perfection. What gratitude requires is your presence. All it requires is for you as a mom to be present in the moments and recognize the things you need to be grateful for. Yes, and I want to invite you to come join us at the Confident Mom Academy. We're on Facebook and Instagram at the Confident Mom Academy. We also have a YouTube channel, the Confident Mom Academy. Now, in our academy, we're going to help you to refill your emotional cup. Remember, emotional intelligence is so important. And we as moms, as individuals, we have to be students of emotional intelligence for life, because emotional intelligence can change everything about you. So in our academy, we're going to help you to refill your emotional cup. We're going to help you to build yourself from the inside out. We are going to walk you through the journey of being that confident woman that God has called you to be, to thrive beyond motherhood, to thrive in life and in every other thing in general. We have lots of videos on YouTube that is going to transform your mindset. So come join us. Join us on Facebook, on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please remember to share this video, to like this video, tell someone, tell another mom that needs to listen to this, and let us make the world a better place. My name is Chioma Odikolo. Thank you for joining me today. Do have a good day. I really do appreciate your time. I do not take your time for granted. Until I come your way next time. Bye.